Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going the third part of anti-cancer. This includes the natural product anti-cancer drugs. You can see here these are cell cycle specific drugs and majority of them are plant derived. And there are enumerated four types of natural product anti-cancer drugs. We are going to discuss one by one. First of all, vinca alkaloids. The drugs include vinblastine, vincristine, and vinorelbine. As regards their mechanism of action, these vinca alkaloids block the formation of mitotic spindle by preventing the assembly of tubular dimers into the microtubules. As you know well that the mitosis is very important for the production of new cells, as regards the normal cells as well as the cancer cells. So they block the formation of mitotic spindles. They act primarily in the M phase, which is the mitotic phase of the cancer cell cycle. As a result, new cancer cells will not be formed. Resistance can occur from increased efflux of the drug from the tumor cells via the membrane drug transport. As regards the pharmacokinetics, these drugs must be given parenterally, and they are present in most of the tissues except the cerebrospinal fluid, and their excretion is via biliary excretion. These vinca alkaloids are used in acute leukemias, lymphomas, Wilms tumor, and neuroblastoma. Vinblastine is used for lymphomas, neuroblastoma, as well as testicular carcinoma and Kaposi's sarcoma. Similarly, the third drug, that is vinorelbine, is used in non-small cell lung cancer and breast cancer. Their toxicity is the same as with other anti-cancer drugs. But vincristine has some neurotoxic actions and it may cause areflexia, peripheral neuritis, and paralytic ileus. The next drugs are etoposide and taniposide. These are also natural product anti-cancer drugs. Their mechanism of action is that etoposide is a basically semi-synthetic derivative of podophylotoxin, and they cause DNA breakage through its inhibition of topoisomerase enzyme 2. This drug is most active in the late S and the early G2 phase of the cell cycle. It means that they are cell cycle specific drugs. They can be given orally and they are well distributed to most of the tissues and they are eliminated by the kidneys. So the dose reduction should be done in patients with renal impairment. These drugs that are etoposide and taniposide are used in combination with other drugs for the treatment of lymphoma, lung, germ cell, and gastric cancers, and their toxicity is same as with other cancer drugs. Next are the paclitaxel and docetaxel. These are also natural product anti-cancer drugs. They interfere with the mitotic spindle. As we have discussed earlier, these taxanes act differently from the vinca alkaloids. Vinca alkaloids also interfere with the mitotic spindle, but there is some difference because they prevent the microtubule disassembly. They prevent assembly, while paclitaxel and docetaxel prevent microtubule disassembly into the tubular monomers. They are given intravenously, and these taxanes have activity in number of solid tumors that includes breast, ovarian, lung, gastroesophageal, prostate, bladder, head and neck cancer. Almost all the solid tumors can be treated with these natural product anti-cancer drugs, and their toxicity is same, but however paclitaxel causes neutropenia, thrombocytopenia, and there is also high incidence of peripheral neuropathy and possibly hypersensitivity reaction during infusion. Next comes the anti-tumor antibiotics. This category of anti-neoplastic drug is made up of several structurally dissimilar microbial products and these includes three types of drugs. Number one are the anthracyclines, number two bleomycin, and number three mitomycin. First of all, we are going to discuss anthracyclines. Anthracyclines are the doxorubicin and daunorubicin. They basically intercalate between DNA base pairs and they inhibit the topoisomerase 2 and they generate free radicals. All of you know that these free radicals are toxic. They block the synthesis of RNA and DNA and cause DNA strand CN. Membrane disruption can also occur. And these anthracyclines are cell cycle non-specific. Doxorubicin and daunorubicin must be given intravenously and they are metabolized in the liver and excreted in the bile and the urine. They are used in many Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin lymphomas, myelomas, sarcomas, and many solid tumors like breast, lung, ovarian, and thyroid cancers. Similarly, daunorubicin is used in many treatment of acute leukemias. Toxicity is same as with other anti-cancer drugs. However, the most important adverse effect is the cardiotoxicity with the possibility of arrhythmias and slowly developing dose-dependent cardiomyopathy and heart failure. Dextrazoxane is an antitumor antibiotic and is an anthracycline. It is an inhibitor of iron-mediated free radical generation. It may protect against the dose-dependent form of cardiotoxicity. I have told you rescue of anthracyclines. So, anthracycline toxicity rescue can be done with dextrazoxane. Because why? Because it is an inhibitor of iron mediated free radical generation and these free radicals are toxic, so it inhibits these free radicals, so we can use these toxicity, we can rescue anthracycline toxicity with dextrazoxane. Now the next antitumor antibiotic is bleomycin. It is a mixture of glycopeptides that generates free radicals which bind to DNA and cause strand breaks and inhibit DNA synthesis. And it is a cell cycle specific drug and it acts on the G2 phase. It is given parenterally and it is used in the treatment of Hodgkin's lymphoma and testicular cancers. Similarly, toxicity is almost similar. However, hypersensitivity reactions can take place and should be kept in mind when you are administering bleomycin intravenously. And they may cause mucocutaneous reactions like alopecia and blister formation and hyperkeratosis. Next antitumor antibiotic is mitomycin. Mitomycin basically is a cell cycle non-specific drug and it is metabolized by the liver enzymes to form an alkylating agent that cross-links the DNA and it is given intravenously and it is cleared by the hepatic metabolism. It is used against hypoxic tumor cells and is used in combination regimes for adenocarcinomas of the cervix, stomach, pancreas and the lung. And toxicity is all. Next comes the hormonal anti-cancer drugs. The glucocorticoid prednisolone is the most commonly used glucocorticoid in cancer chemotherapy and is widely used in combination therapy for leukemias and lymphomas. You have learned a detail of these corticosteroids when you have learned your chapter of glucocorticoid. Next are the gonadal hormone antagonist. Number one is the tamoxifen. Tamoxifen is basically a selective estrogen receptor modulator that blocks the binding of estrogen to the receptors of estrogen sensitive cancer cells in the breast tissue. So basically it is used in the treatment of breast carcinoma. It is used in the receptor positive breast carcinoma and it have also a preventive effect in the women that are high risk for breast cancer. Moreover, can be used to prevent the cancer in the contralateral breast. Because it has agonistic activity in the endometrium, so tamoxifen increases the risk of endometrial hyperplasia and the neoplasia because it is a modulator. In the breast, it has antagonistic effect or modulator effect, but in the endometrium, it has agonistic activity, so it can cause endometrial hyperplasia and neoplasia. So it should be kept in mind while using tamoxifen that the women may develop endometrial hyperplasia and neoplasia. Other adverse effects include nausea, vomiting, hot flushes, vaginal bleeding, and venous thrombosis. Next nodal hormone antagonist is the tauromethine, and it is a new estrogen receptor antagonist, and it is used in advanced breast cancer. Another drug is frutamide. It is an androgen receptor antagonist. Tauromethine and tamoxifen is the estrogen receptor antagonist, while frutamide is an androgen receptor antagonist. So it is used in prostatic carcinoma. And the adverse effects are the same as that with tauromethine or tamoxifen. Next drugs are the gonadotropin releasing hormone analogs. These are leprolide, goserelin, and nafralinin. These are GnRH agonists. They are effective in prostatic carcinoma when they are administered in constant doses so as to maintain stable blood levels. They inhibit the release of pituitary luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. In this way, they inhibit the prostatic cells to proliferate. Leprolide may cause bone pain, gynecomastia, hematuria, impotence, and testicular. The last one are the aromatase inhibitors. Aromatase inhibitors, these are anastrozole and letrozole. They inhibit aromatase enzyme. And this enzyme catalyzes the conversion of androstenedione, that is an androgenic precursor, to estrone, that is an estrogenic hormone. Both drugs are used in advanced breast cancer. And their toxicity is nausea, diarrhea, hot flushes, bone and back pain, dyspnea, and peripheral edema. That was all about your anti-cancer drugs, and hopefully you will read them carefully, and you are going to deliver your viva on Zoom. Thank you very much.